right? Took part in the Men's Day observance.
Very good. So it would be great if we can have, you know, perhaps, you know, the sermon in Arabic is called khutbah.
Right.
So perhaps we can have some written something so that the imams can give khutbahs on a Friday about men and violence.
Very true.
Because, you know, in all religions, no matter what race, whatever, socioeconomic status, there is violence.
Correct.
And violence against intimate partners.
Yes.
We would like to put our heads in the sand and say it does not happen, but believe me, it happens.
Correct.
I know that for a fact. You know, and we would want to certainly empower our men to rise above the various reasons that they give for being violent, and to learn how to deal with these emotions, how to deal with the feelings of anger, how to at least resolve it in a way that does not hurt someone else, you know. So let us talk about the reasons for violence again.
I think one of the reasons that comes up a lot is this jealousy.
Oh gosh, yes.
You know, sometimes the man might be jealous that his partner is maybe getting the attention of others, or he might believe that extramarital relationship might be occurring. And this could be one of the reasons.
So that is, you have crimes of passion.
Crimes of passion, you know. So that could be it. Now, sometimes there could be a mental illness, you know, that is undiagnosed. And that contributes to this uncontrolled anger.
That's like bipolar and so on,
you know?
Disease, yes.
So sometimes these mental illnesses, and we don't, of course, have the proper facilities.
Right,
you know,
to screen. Yes.
And there's also a stigma attached. Could you imagine somebody going to St. Anne's Mental Hospital for 1 week, getting treatment, and then he goes back into the family and the neighborhood?
And everybody's whispering and saying, he mad.
He mad. He's a madman.
Yes.
You know? So I feel that stigma that we have in our country, we need to examine how in the first world developed countries like Canada and Britain and the United States, how they deal with these issues in a serious and mature way.
And at least we could copy something good.
Something good.
Yes, you know, being the copycats that we are.
Yes.
So you find now that you would have violence against a student in school, one student against the other, because they want to take their sneakers or something like that, or steal their money or their cell phone. You know, you find, you know, somebody else will copy that.
Yes.
Let us at least copy something good.
Something good from these countries.
Yes, for sure, for sure. We want to copy. But tell me about the effects of job loss or being involved in an accident, you know, where the man whose psyche would be so affected by this, so he cannot provide for his family. He was active before and now he is in bed. He is quite irritable and angry, even to the person who is giving him care. Right, tell us about that.
I have heard and seen many cases where that would occur, where the man, he feels emasculated.
Yes.
He is no longer the breadwinner. He is no longer seen as the provider.
Head of the house, or the head of the house,
And you would know from ancient times, the man was always the person finding shelter, bringing food for the children and the wife.
Going on the hunt and so on.
You know, the gatherer, right, the farmer. So issues like such as poverty, unemployment, an accident, all these.
Or major illnesses.
Major illnesses. It could be diabetes, a stroke, a heart attack. After an operation, you're recuperating.
Yes, yes.
All these things, they damage the psyche of the man, and he is often lashing out to the caregiver, who could be the wife or a daughter, you know, because he's feeling this pent-up rage, this helplessness, and he wants to return to this position where he was in charge of things, you know. So it's very true, and I have realized that governments cannot deal with issues like poverty and unemployment and separate problems that are occurring in the home.
Right, right, right. What about the effects of drugs and alcohol? Because even if you are taking prescription drugs, you can have some that will have the effect of having you aggressive.
Very true. Often these drugs the side effects include not just irritability, but it could include depression.
And depression, yes.
You know, and these things would affect a man. Now, what I have realized too is that sometimes, even though we have CDAP, sometimes the men might not be able to get the correct treatment, the proper treatment, because maybe they might be living in a rural area.
Oh, yes.
You know, maybe they might be living far from the hospital and they can't afford to go to the hospital for treatment, but the hospital has the medicines.
Yes, yes.
So I believe that we need to examine these issues. But you touched on something very important, and that is the drugs. Yes, we have the illegal drugs like the cocaine and the marijuana, but I also want to mention to the public, and they would know, that alcoholism and the smoking addictions, the simple cigarettes,
oh gosh, yes,
that contributes to the problems within the home and the society. You know, could you imagine an alcoholic spending his entire wage on a Friday or weekend at the bar? Something like gambling, these vices, they take away from income that should be spent on maybe buying school books for the children or buying food.
Food for the home.
So
yes.
I feel we need to examine why have we legalized gambling? Why have we allowed it to be so common? Because it's so sickening to see
members clubs all
these
around.
Casinos.
Yeah, they are casinos. Yeah.
It is very sickening to see these long lines at the Playway outlets and the Lotto outlets and these big one-page advertisements.
Yeah.
And so much time being spent on national TV. And I feel we need to spend our energies and our time and our resources trying to solve some of these problems. I certainly do not see us as being progressive when we are promoting vices.
Oh gosh. And now Christmas time. You know, as they always say, you don't put the Christ at Christmas anymore. Some people don't, some people do. And the thing about it is they spend so much money.
Very materialistic.
Yeah, on the consumerism is so high and spend so much money, and afterwards they are in debt.
It's funny you say that. Sometimes when I go to look at decorations, when I go to buy decorations, I'm seeing Santa Claus, Frosty the Snowman, reindeers, and I'm asking, why don't you have a creche on sale or the angels?
Yes, yes. Well, I guess Christians celebrate, you know, Christmas in a particular way. Right. But I think all over the country, a lot of people of different faiths will also join in that. Yeah. But when we look at the consumption of alcohol, the cultural aspects of the thing, you know, if people have a birthday,
you must celebrate it with alcohol.
Yes. If you're launching a ship, you have to knock the bottle on the ship. Right. You know, if anything, you have sport and you win something, it's a lot of alcohol being sprayed all over. Yeah. You know, everything is alcohol.
These alcohol companies sponsor many of our cultural and sporting activities.
Yes, it's an irony.
I think alcohol and smoking is one of the curses. Those are the curses in our society, and we need to try to deal with some of these demons.
I want to touch now on male-female dynamics. The relationship between the man and woman has changed considerably. From a historical point of view, can you say something about that?
I certainly believe that that role has certainly changed from prehistoric times, ancient times, to the present. We have seen the gender roles changing. Right. In that the woman, she is now more educated, she has more freedom, she is literate, she now will decide.
She's earning so much money.
She's earning more money, she is able to drive, and she is very visible in the public eye, and she could now decide in many instances if she will marry or not, when she will marry. So she's no longer pressured or forced. And I believe that this is one good indicator of progress, of a society that is being transformed, but we also have to look at the repercussions.
Right, yes.
You know, in that sometimes the rest of society might say, but women should not be here, women should not get all this education, they should not be leading a company.
Stay at home.
She should stay at home, you know.
Yes.
So the movement from the home into the public, into the office,
to the workplace,
into the schools, right? Getting this education, tertiary education. Sometimes it might make the men feel threatened. It might make sections of society believe that this is bad, and there might be a backlash.
Yes, yes. You know? Also, you know, I would like to tell our sisters out there that certainly in the home the man is the head of the house, has been so traditionally.
And true religious.
And true religious, yeah. As a Muslim we know that the man is the head of the house, but he's the one who's outside doing with the community as well. But the woman, it deals with the home, and that's her primary responsibility. But certainly she's supposed to be educated. Certainly she can work in jobs that are suitable to her feminine nature.
Correct.
And that, well, from the point of view of Islam, there should not be free intermingling of the sexes, because again, you know, all this jealousy and all these liaisons might arise and so on. Right. And of course, the impact of that on the family can be really horrendous. Yes. So really, we have to understand our roles and our responsibilities. But certainly, while physically we may wear trousers as part of our wardrobe, really it's the man in the house who wears the pants, you know. And when we take that away from him, we are emasculating him.
Correct.
You know, so I think we have to understand our roles and complement each other, you know, have the right fit.
Correct.
Yes, right. So that each one can function in their role, in their capacity, and that we do not make the man feel less of a man.
Yes.
The man, on the other hand, if we are to have good self-esteem and so on, it has to start at the home.
Correct.
You know, it has to start at the home. And I would like to, you know, just at this point mention that in the Quran, it is said here in chapter 2, verse 187, your wives are an apparel for you, and you are an apparel for them. In other words, you are garments, so close is your relationship, you are garments to each other, and the garment protects, the garment adorns, the garment, you know, will beautify, and so on, right? And we are told also in 2:231 that either retain them in good fellowship, even if you have to separate, either retain them in good fellowship or set them free with liberality, and do not retain them for injury, so that you do not exceed the limits. And whoever does this, he indeed is unjust to his own soul, and do not take God's communications for a mockery. You know, we are told that we're supposed to keep our wives in good fellowship. We're supposed to treat them with kindness.
Right.
The man, from the point of view of Islam, the man is the provider. He's the protector and maintainer of the woman. Not only his wife, you know, his mother, his sisters, his aunts, if the aunts need help, and so on, the extended family. And so, you know, we have to give the men, sisters, we have to give the men their just due and respect, and understand our roles, and understand that there are mutual obligations between husband and wife, or father and daughter, and so on. All the different relations, brother and brother, they are mutual obligations, you know, and rights, you know, and so that we have to understand that. And certainly being violent certainly does not, you know, promote good feelings at all. It causes havoc in the home.
Correct.
And the home is the cornerstone of the society.
Correct.
So it, by extension, it causes havoc in the society, you know. So, my dear Dr. Jerome, as we close, tell me your wish list.
I would like to see a society in which violence is eliminated. I would like to see a society in which gender relations could be improved. I would like to see a society in which the home will be stronger, a stronger unit in society. I would like to see the eradication of some of these vices that contribute to our social problems. And I would like to see more resources in our country being used to help our people. So, and I would also, of course, want to hope that International Men's Day would be observed by not just the men, but also the women and the children. It's an all-inclusive day, because we cannot just improve and help our men and they become helpful and nobody is benefiting. When they become good, the society will benefit, the home will benefit, the schools will benefit. So it is very important that we see the connection between men and the rest of society.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Jerome. And I wanted to let the viewers know about the hotline for